See me and hear me on this fine Monday morning. What we're going to be doing this morning for this week's assignment is to start looking at different ways of being able to break out of the traditional scale shapes and look for something a bit more creative, but it does require some time and some practice on your part to try and make them work. So if you can hear me and you can see me okay, do me a big favor, throw a hello in the chat so I can see where you're from and make sure that everything's working okay. And it'll just take a second here to reach you, the latency around the world. John is here. Hey, John. Let me throw that up there. There is John. And we'll just wait for a couple more people. Joseph is here. Hey, Joseph. Good to see you. Joseph is here. Awesome. James is here. RJ, Ronald. All right, cool. We have all kinds of people. Steve, Rick. Elmac from Nova Scotia. Very cool. Brandon is here. Hey, Brandon. Hey, Ronald. Hey, Rashad. Hey, Andy. Hey, Martin. Hey, Pierre from France. Thank you so much for being here. This is great. Okay. This is so awesome. Okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Hey, Midgie. Hey, Ken. Jeff is here. I'm doing much better, Jeff. Thank you so much for asking. I had to travel for the weekend for band rehearsals, and I'm back, and I'm feeling much, much better. So... Sean is here. Hey, Sean. Hey, Cayman? Is that how you say it? So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about trying to take a traditional kind of scale shape and then make something unique out of it. And then it's really something that you just need to spend some time practicing, okay? Hey, Miki. Good morning to you. Jake is here. Mohammed is here. Hi, Mohammed. Tomislav is here. Carrie is here, Samuel is here, Zarko is here, Allison is here, Charles. All right, and thank you. We have already 200 people here, so let's go ahead and just get started. Thank you. Mike says, gorgeous Charvel. Thank you. I love this guitar. I was never, it's not that I wasn't a Charvel fan. I just really never played them. And I went in one day and found this guitar, and the neck on this thing was so beautiful that I had to get it. So that's why I got it. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So let's just say, for instance, we're going to talk pentatonic and diatonic. But again, most importantly, what we're doing today is really just trying to figure out how we can make some interesting shapes that you can explore with your scales. So if you get bored, you can come up with something new. Shapes have been something that, you know, Jimmy Page to Randy Rhoads to Paul Gilbert to... obviously Eddie Van Halen to Dimebag Darrell, and there's just a ton of people in between that have used shapes when they solo. So instead of just playing traditional scales, which again is very important, learning how to just take those shapes or those scales and deviate them into shapes. So what we're going to do is let's just start off by looking at, for instance, our pentatonic scale, and I'm going to be in A as I usually am. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that, and normally we could add, for instance, maybe the blues note in, right? And if you don't know what some of this stuff is, again, this is the beauty of video, is you can always go back and watch it when I'm done. It'll be in a playlist on YouTube. It'll be on Facebook. You can go wherever and watch this thing, okay? When I go live like this, it goes live on different channels. So you could look at, for instance, on Facebook, you could go to the Steve Stein Guitar channel or just the Steve Stein personal page, and you're going to be able to see it on all of these different places, or on YouTube, either on Guitar Zoom or on Steve Stein, and you can rewatch these anytime you like, okay? So let's just take that, for instance, just that shape right there, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to span it out, and we're going to take something that looks a little more shape-oriented. So, for instance, something that Paul Gilbert would use, that I would certainly use as well, would be something like this. Taking that shape and playing this. We're going to play 5, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7 again, 5, 7, 8, 3 times. So the bulk of it is 5, 7, and 8, with these 5, 6, 7s in there, which still gives you that blues flavor if you're looking for that. And you can still get that kind of sound. Okay? So that's a really great place to start if you're looking at trying to shape a little bit. Everything in here is very functional. If you've seen any of the other scale things that I talk about, like I just went through a section on, I've got a new guitar course, Essential Guitar Scales, and I went through and I was talking about something very similar to this in my live sessions last week. So what's really great about this is you get all these shapes or all these notes, but you still get that sound of your blues. You see? So that's a really good one. That's number one. And again, I'll go through that really quick again. So everybody, in case you've got a pencil or something, you want to write this down. Okay? You can just do this. 5, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. So that's the first shape that we're going to talk about for this week. And if you're into blues rock and roll, anything with that kind of flavor, this is a really, really great scale to explore, this shape right here. But let me show you another one. So this one's going to be very similar to that one, but this one's going to be based more off of, let's say maybe like natural minor or Dorian or something like that. Same idea, but what we're going to do here is we're going to play 5, 7, and 8 all the way across. Abraham says, hey Steve, you really have helped me improve on my guitar soloing. Keep it up, good job. Thank you so much, Abraham, I appreciate that. Okay, so you're getting a little bit of a lot of things in there. You're getting a little bit of Dorian, you're getting a little bit of Aeolian or natural minor, whatever you want to call it. There's all kinds of things. And again, the point is that you're not restricting yourself to a certain scale or a certain mode. And not that that's bad, because we want to be able to do that in the right context. But sometimes you're just looking for something different to play. So this makes for a nice little shape. It's just playing 8, 7, 5 or 5, 7, 8, depending on how you look at that. Again, very Paul Gilbert kind of way of looking at that. And just whatever might work for you for the way you want to play it. Okay? But that's a really nice one too. Now, let's say we wanted to go major, and this is one that's a lot of fun. So let's say we were dealing with something that was more major sounding, so we wanted to do something that sounded a bit more on the major side. What we could do, let me just kind of catch up with some of the comments here. Thank you, Gil, very much. X-Metal335 says that's making sense, which is awesome. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at major, and again, it's not true major. It's kind of a combination of all sorts of different things because it's a shape. So what we're going to do here is we're going to play 5, 7, 9, 5, 7, 9 all the way across. You see? And you get this really great sound. Again, it has a bit of a mixolydian flavor in there because of that flatted 7th right here. Okay? Which is kind of cool, but then it doesn't exist up on the other side. Up here, we get the major 7. So it is a Charvel, Robert asked. Hey, Todd, thank you for being here, bud. See, sometimes, like right there, what I'm doing is just string skipping. Or you can just play it sequentially. Joseph says, is that A major? Well, again, as I just said, it's you might have just heard that, but it's not really A major. It's A major a little bit, but because it's a shape, it has all kinds of different things in there. So it's actually kind of a combination of both major and mixolydian at the same time. So kind of interesting sounding. Okay, and then what sometimes I'll do is I'll just use the outside notes, just the 5s and 9s. Yep, Jeremy, it would work the same way for a 7-string because you just have a low B, so we'd just be repeating whatever it is we're doing on the 2nd string, right? So yeah, and again, it doesn't work for every situation. You have to have some fun and explore this stuff. But being the age I am, growing up with, George Lynch is another prime example of a person that would use a lot of these shape things. It's not exclusive. You know, they'll use regular scales too, but this is just a really fun way of kind of breaking out of what you normally do. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Brian. You see? So that's kind of a neat thing that you can do as well. So, I mean, there's a ton of other kinds of things that I could show you that are shape-oriented, but I think to start with for this week, I think this would be a really great place for us to go, is to start off with the more bluesy sounding one, the more minor sounding one, and then the more major sounding one, and just have you kind of explore those a little bit. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense to you. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, subscribed to my YouTube channel or my Facebook page or something like that, do me a favor and do so. It helps me out a lot. And share the video or talk about me to somebody else in a kind way, please, and keep me able to do what I'm doing. And as always, check out guitarzoom.com and see if there's a product that I've got that's available that would help you along the way. So everybody take care, stay positive, have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you next week when we do another